Alright guys, I'm going to do a little update on the chicken coop and show you some of the daily chores that I do. So let me bring you in close and I'll show you what I'm going to do. Alright guys, if I get out of the way here, this is the roost right here. This is where they sleep at night. And while they're sleeping, of course, they're pooping up a storm. So what I have here is a platform on the base here. And on that platform, it's a sheet of plywood, and I coated it with polyurethane, of course. I put some sand on there. And when they poop, all the poop goes on the sand. And I'm going to clean that up right now. Alright, sorry guys, I don't have a wide angle lens. This is about as far back as I can get. Basic 2x4s, this is where they sleep on. The sand is right here. So basically what I'm doing is getting a kitty litter scoop, a metal one preferably. I think this ran somewhere around $10 at Walmart, I think it was. But it's nice, you can just scoop and you're left with the poop, like that. You shake it off and you're left with all the poop. Okay? I put this in a bucket, and I have to clean this every few days, maybe 2-3 times a week. I have, oh man, I must have 4 or 5 gallon buckets full of poop that I've been saving. I use some in my garden, and I've been using it in my orchard also. And I'll show you a way you can use fresh manure, chicken manure, without destroying your plants. Okay, and this is only for vegetables that grow above ground or your fruit trees. Nothing that grows in the ground like your potatoes, carrots, and things like that, beets. Okay, not your root vegetables. Only for above ground. Because you don't want, this could be carrying pathogens, bad bacteria, and that won't be good. The metal one, you can scrape off their roost bars here. When I first put the chickens in here, I was cleaning the poop with this hardware cloth. It's a 1/4 inch hardware cloth. And, you know, doing the same thing, just scooping it up in the sand and then taking it up like that. That worked good for a while, but as the chickens got bigger, their poop got bigger. So I had to go use this. I tried this first, but their poop was small and it was going through this. So I started using this. But now that they're full grown, they need the manly poop scooper. Okay, so another thing I added, which is right over there, right there, is oyster shells. And I got that little feeder at Tractor Supply. I think it was like $10. I think they call it an over-the-fence feeder or something like that. It just hangs on a fence or something. As you can see, I just put it on a 2x4 there. That will supply them with calcium also, although I don't agree that oyster shell is the best source of calcium. I have a video, and I'll put that up. I'll put that up here on this eggshell feeder here, where I get eggshells that we use, and then put them in the oven for like I don't know, 200 degrees for like 10-15 minutes to kill off any pathogens. And we crush them up and put them in this feeder, and that supplies them their calcium. I think it's a better source than the oyster shells. although they will get some calcium out of the oyster shells. But the main reason why I'm doing the oyster shell also is for two reasons. You could, I guess you can kill two birds with one stone. No pun intended, of course. But what you can do with these oyster shells, they come in handy because they give them the calcium, and they also act as little pebbles for their gizzards and help them to digest their food also. As you can see right now, they're feeding from their feeder here. This is egg layer crumbles that I pick up at Tractor Supply, organic of course. We are getting quite a bit of eggs from these chickens. Let me show you some of the eggs. Okay, as you can see here, we have 2, 4, 6 eggs. That one back there that's dirty, that one is a ceramic egg. Here, this one's a ceramic egg. This is a real egg. Ceramic, 2 real eggs. And here we have a ceramic and 3 eggs. So we got there 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 eggs. We have a dozen eggs here for today. And it's only, what is it, 2:30, 3 o'clock out. I usually get the eggs around 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. They might put out one more, but we've been usually getting around 11 to 14 eggs a day. So that's very good. And between me, my wife, my mother-in-law, and 4 hungry dogs, we use them up pretty well. And they are absolutely delicious. Alright guys, you can see when I built my coop and run, I made sure I did it where these trees are. Okay, I got all these beautiful oak trees here. These are live oak trees. And they're producing a lot of shade. Now I had to figure out where the sun traveled during the day and make sure that this was in the shade most of the day. In the morning they get sun. They get lots of sun up until about 10, 11 o'clock, and then the shade from these trees starts covering this run and everything. So it worked out really well. I planned it out, and it actually worked out to what I had planned it to. So that's amazing in itself. So yeah. Alright, so let me show you how to use the fresh chicken manure in your orchard, fruit trees, or in your garden. Alright guys, before you do this, make sure you do not do this on your root vegetables, okay? So your carrots, potatoes, beets, those type of vegetables, anything that grows under the ground that you have to take out to eat, don't do this, okay? This is for anything that grows above ground, okay? And what you would do is mix a 10% ratio of manure and the rest water. So 1 part manure to 10 parts water, okay? So in a bucket like this, I measured here, it was about from here down is 12 inches, okay? So 10% of that is 1.2 inches. So 1 1/4 inches roughly of manure to the rest up to here water, okay? So this bucket here is full of manure. It's not rocket science, just look at it. It's about right there, about 1.25 inches. And then fill the rest up with water. Sure you rinse your hands off too. Now get yourself a stick and then just mix it around. You want to let this sit for maybe an hour or so, an hour or two. You want that manure to, you know, absorb all the water and break down real good. So let it sit, like I said, for an hour or two. Every, I don't know, 15 minutes, half hour, just give it a good stir to break everything up real good. All right, I got some weeds, delicious weeds from the garden, and some corn that didn't quite make it. Hey guys, I know it's your favorite. And we got corn here that, like I said, didn't do so well. And they like it. There's one. There's another. Okay, we have our manure and water brew here. It's not really a brew, but we'll just call it a mixture. Got my stick. It's been close to an hour. We're going to stir this up really good. Now these trees I just planted. This is in my orchard. These have been sitting in pots for over a year, maybe 2 years. So I just planted them and they're not doing that well. They need a good boost. I did put tree fertilizer or fruit tree fertilizer on here, organic, but it won't help to, I mean it won't hurt, I'm sorry, to add some chicken manure here. Now the reason why I go 1:10 ratio, 1 part manure to 10 parts water, is obviously it's very high in nitrogen. You don't want to burn your roots. You don't want too much nitrogen. So this way it's diluted, it still gets nitrogen, but it won't overwhelm it. And again, do not do this with root vegetables, okay? This is only for fruit trees and vegetables that grow above the ground. And when you do this, when you pour it on the around the trunk or around your vegetables, do not pour it on the vegetables themselves or on the leaves or any part of the plant. Just where it's growing in the root section, okay? And it'll be just fine. Now, I've done this with a lot of my vegetables and fruit trees for a while now, and it hasn't hurt anything, okay? Okay, now we mixed it all up. We're going to pour it right around the roots. Now at the bottom of the bucket you're going to find the manure that wasn't mixed in very well. Just add some more water. and just dump it in there. All right. And then also add some more water just to wash it down really good. All right, guys, that's about it for this video. Again, 1 to 10 ratio on your 1 part manure, 10 parts water, and you'll be safe. In a 5-gallon bucket, like I said, it's about 1.25 inches of manure and the rest water. That's for a 5-gallon bucket. I've done this to many of my other trees in my orchard here, and on your vegetables. No root vegetables, just put it on the ground where the root system is, not on the vegetables and not on the leaves, okay? And you'll be safe. All right, guys, I appreciate you watching. Please like, subscribe, and share, and I greatly appreciate it. Thank you. Is that a beautiful sight or what? Huh? Won't be long before we'll be eating these pears. Nice.